That's pretty sweet. I'm going to show you here in just a second. Welcome to the closing beat, everybody. It's Tuesday. Man, it feels like later in the week, doesn't it? I don't know why. Maybe the sun's out longer. You got your time changed forward there. I don't know. Feeling good. This is our stock market update show. We're Jazz Wealth. We're financial advisors. We build and manage our own portfolios. And hang with me for 1 second. I'm going to go like this. There you go. You know how our customers get private classes and it's all recorded. And so you can see all those classes. Every one of our customers gets an invite to some geeky classes, to some basic classes, support type classes, and then, things to help them out along the way. Well, now, everyone, if you're watching this and you're one of our customers, go ahead, log in, check it out, log in, and on the home page, we got an update for you. You get to see the markets. What do markets do today? Here's the S&P 500. Here's the Dow. We're going to cover that in a second. It's all right here for you in the dojo now. I told you, the dojo wasn't going to be just some silly little video library. It's about to be even better than that. So I just wanted to point that out. I have some tweaking to do. I want to share it here on this show. I don't want to use the same charts that I normally use, so I'm going to be expanding and using that on the show so that if you're one of our customers, you'll see this here and you'll be able to go use it inside the dojo. So check it out. I'm sorry for the rest of you to do a bit of marketing there. Just excited. You can't blame a brother for being excited. Anyways, also the lights. Not perfect yet, but if you saw the video I posted today, sort of highlighted how I got the lights to work, fancy studio quality stuff on a budget though, money. So, hey, the markets today mixed again. Why? Well, now you know. If you saw yesterday's closing beat, you know that the markets struggled a little bit, all because of Boeing. Boeing has, it had about a 1% effect yesterday on the overall markets. Today, about 0.5%, just a little over 0.5% for Boeing. And so that's the reason why you have the Dow lower by 100 and you've got the S&P higher by 8. General rule of thumb, lesson of the day coming at you. Ready? When you look at that off to your right, my left, you see how the Dow is up or down a certain amount of numbers and the S&P is up or down a certain amount of numbers. Those should usually be within 1/10 of each other. Meaning if the Dow was down 96, the S&P should be down about 9, right? If everything was broad-based, meaning if the sell-off was broad-based, you'd see the Dow down 96, you'd see the S&P down 9. There's that correlation, very close. And so you can always do that. If tomorrow the Dow's up 100 and the S&P's up 10, you could sort of real quick go, that's a broad-based rally. We got our tech, we got our financials in there, we got industrials, materials, we got everything participating. You would know without listening to any other of the jibber-jabber coming out of my mouth that things were basically normal and positive or normal and negative. So anyways, you know there's a disconnect today, and anytime you see a disconnect like that, you go, what's the problem? 2 words today. And they both start with a B. Boeing, Brexit. Boeing and Brexit, mostly Boeing, but we'll cover that. Anyways, Nasdaq higher by 32 on the day today. And look, for Boeing, it's just not good. You got almost everybody around the world besides the U.S. grounding the 737 MAX 8s. Besides the U.S., really. Australia added to the list. The entire European Union added to the list. Singapore joined Ethiopia. Everybody. Indonesia. So not looking good for them. And because of that, you had the stock price a little bit lower today. Hey, speaking of Singapore, do you like trading futures in the Chinese market? I know there's one of you out there. Maybe there's others that I don't know about. If you like trading futures in the Chinese markets overnight, if you're one of those people that likes to stay up late and do stuff in other markets so you can't get in trouble in this one, the Hong Kong exchange is going to start competing with Singapore. Currently, Singapore is the only sort of route that you can take to trade on the Chinese, on the Shanghai Stock Exchange as far as trading futures. The Hong Kong exchange is about to compete with them. Sort of big news if you're into that stuff. If not, then sorry about that. Let's move on. You got Boeing here. Look, stock was lower on the day by 6% because of these other countries starting to ground their flights. 58% of the entire fleet of Boeing 737 MAX 8s, or Boeing 737-8, are grounded, right? So the rest of them are here in the U.S., Southwest and American Airlines. So, man, just not good for them. The stock falling back towards that gap fill area. Did recover off of yesterday's support. So if you followed that sort of thing, or you bought yesterday on the dip or something, you're not really scared at the moment. It's just not a good day for the stock. And because of that, the Dow was lower, held you down on the day. Because of that, you're going to see the industrials as well. So if you're in the dojo right now and you're playing around with those, go over to the right. There's a watch list there. Go to industrials. Here's what we're looking at here. The industrials were a little bit lower. However, technical traders, people that bought this yesterday, have really no concerns. Why? Because from a technical standpoint, you had a strong rally off of strong resistance yesterday. Let's talk glass half full, glass half empty. Ready? If today you sold off more than half of everything you gained yesterday, you would have seen that thing sell off a lot harder. People just losing confidence. Technically, the glass is still half full. Yesterday's rally has maintained more than half of it. People like to see that, and so not a lot of concern there. Also, it's Boeing. Boeing's 10% of this sector. It's like 9.97% or something interesting there. So you know that's the pressure from today. Hey, other than that, big tech had new highs for the year today. Just a small gain of about 0.6%. But off those lows, still very strong, and new highs here for the year so far. And so that sticks out as an area. It's not your best performing area of the day. I just thought it stuck out, made new highs. Thought that was interesting. Oil explorers recovering sharply from what looked to be certain death to the downside there for them. So they got a little bit of a breather. Gold miners also higher on the day. And I'll go to energy real quick just because that category was sort of strong today. Oil up by 0.5%. If that helps you out in any way. Let's take a look at Dick's Sporting Goods. They reported earnings. Did you catch the hints that I was giving you? So I can't tell you what to do with a stock, nor can I say really what I think is going to happen with a stock, but the stock was lower by 11% today. And if you saw the promotion and the mention of the retail sales from last month, we saw that the worst performing area in retail sales was sporting goods. So you kind of got a hint that this earnings wasn't going to be very good. Hey, but the other side to that is they announced that they weren't going to be selling rifles or hunting equipment and accessories in 125 different locations. That's not good either, because they said, yes, we're going to focus on the areas where we don't sell that much in those stores anyways, but people don't like to see that. When you get into gun control, investors don't like to see that. Otherwise, the earnings was basically the same. Sales were a bit weaker, so that could have been a focus today as well. And then going forward for 2019, the company also said, hey, because we're going to cut back on some of this hunting and the rifles and the jackets that you put the guns in and everything, because of that, we expect a little bit lower guidance. So they tried to lower the bar for you. Hey, and stocks got hit. You kind of deserve it if you miss on earnings. You've seen it happen to other stocks, and it's just temporary beat down of 11%. Hey, Stitch Fix. Let's go back over to the charts because you were wanting to look at the charts. So Stitch Fix, we mentioned this yesterday after hours. They reported earnings. It was at the 32 area, shot as high as 38 today. Great move for Stitch Fix. They beat on earnings by a mile, and a mile really just means 7 cents. We were expecting them to make 5 cents a share. They made 12 cents a share. That's a beat. That's a great beat. They also reported revenue better than expected. And you know how I mentioned that each stock has its own sort of important metric. Like for Netflix, it's the number of subscribers, the change in subscribers. For Stitch Fix, we look at current active clients, right? You also look at turnover, but for the most part, people look at current active clients. How many active clients do you have now? And how many did you have last quarter? Well, that was up 18%. They're at 2.96 million active customers, paying customers there. And so that's good news. I took a little bit deeper look. Their gross margins, I like looking at this sort of stuff. Gross margins for the company up to 44.1%. That's pretty good. Is that pretty good? Like a retail company, granted they're online and everything, 44.1%. So I think investors looked at that too and saw the little uptick there and said it was already good. Now it just got a little bit better. So looking pretty good. Stitch Fix doing well today. Coca-Cola downgraded today. There was an analyst at HSBC, and I think I made notes here. Wasn't a big deal today. Downgraded the stock, said margin pressures and that 50-50 profit split with bottlers is very different going forward. And maybe they're hinting that there's going to be some kind of change there. So Coca-Cola a little bit lower on the day. Amazon actually turned positive by the end of the day here. So if you sell on I didn't know this. If you sell on Amazon, you agree that you will not sell your product cheaper on a different website. It's got to be cheapest on Amazon or the same price. I didn't know that. Is that allowed? I wouldn't have thought that was allowed. Anyways, so Amazon basically said that they're going to lift that restriction, or there was a report that said Amazon was about to lift that restriction, saying that you can go sell your products for whatever you want, wherever you want. I just thought that was interesting. The stock really didn't move today. I just thought, hey, that didn't know that existed, nor that someone could do that, but they did, and that's what happened. Monster, this is your technical chart of the day because it reminds me of Boeing. We pulled back to fill the gap. If you're a technical trader and you saw yesterday's class, we talked about filling the gap there. What happened today? Monster filled the gap. As it did, it starts to bounce, maybe a little premature there. So you got tons of support in this area on Monster. The stock was actually downgraded today, just a small downgrade, just citing that it was a little bit overvalued. So I don't know if that means that they may change their mind if it falls a little bit further. For me, it's just the chart of the day because it sort of solidifies as what we've been talking about for the gap filling, right? So I try to pick a lesson, stick with a lesson, teach a lesson, and I wanted to point that out. And that's really it. So apparently I have covered everything that I would like to cover today. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them for you. Yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods says we're not going to sell hunting rifles at 125 of their locations, and they claim we don't really sell a lot of them there anyways, so I don't know. So we'll see. Cool. Glad you enjoyed it. I love it. Perfect. Oh, you like the Boeing bounce. I see a couple of you in there saying you like the drop in Boeing, your second chance, right? Yesterday, it sort of bounced off the lows pretty quick, so you had to be right on it. Looks like some of you said, hey, I think I'll take a little dip there since it pulled back. I don't know what to think there. I'll be honest. Should the U.S. airliners, American and Southwest, ground their 737, the MAX 8s? Wouldn't that just sort of like put Southwest to a screeching halt? The FAA says these planes are airworthy. We'll see. Very interesting going on there. Hey, if you look at the market, bottom right there, there's a little chart, shows you what happened minute by minute. Sort of a boring day. Little more volatility than we've seen, especially compared to yesterday, but sort of a boring day. So don't worry if you missed out on a little bit over the last couple days there. March 25th, you've got Apple doing their report, or their special event. Streaming service, magazine. Well, these are all rumors, but usually people nail that stuff. Streaming service, magazine, the streaming, sort of the Netflix and Amazon Disney killer is probably what'll get all the focus. They had just bought a company, so they were going to do some kind of online magazine. I don't know that that's so interesting to me, but it just shows that they're focused on services. What are all the analysts focused on? Services. If you can improve services, you've got a recipe for a winning stock there. Everybody knows that's what they have to do. Apple's just now solidifying that, hey, we've been working on it, guys, and we're about to announce it. So March 25th, I believe, was the day, or the announcement. I could be wrong. I think that was it. Constellation Brands still undervalued. Yeah. Yep. Thanks for doing this every trading day. Appreciate you guys watching. I love doing it. So unless I'm sick or something, I love doing them. Yep. Yeah, Maslam, I think, we still don't have a complete resolution on the Indonesia flight. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a lot of speculation at this point. These things take time, but I don't know. I'd be a little nervous. I got to be honest. I know I'm one of those. I'm always saying, don't let the news influence you. Politics are coming up and everything. I got to tell you, when a plane falls out of the sky, a little concern. I'm buying a ticket to go somewhere. I'm going to check what type of plane's being used. And I fly. I'm into that stuff. So I've flown planes. I've sort of studied them my whole life. I'm just... Anyways, Twilio. So Twilio, you wouldn't say... So Oscar, you're saying, or if you're asking if Twilio's overbought, technically, no. The reason why, here you go, look at the charts here. The reason why is because this is in a perfect steady uptrend, meaning it has yet to move too far away, too quickly from its 20-period moving average or anything. These are types of uptrends that can continue for a while. Doesn't mean it can't be volatile. I mean, these are $10 drops over the course of a couple days. But this is a really steady and consistent uptrend. So it'd be real hard for you to say this is overbought in the short term. You could say it's overvalued. Maybe you'd rather pay a lower price or something. But unless this thing just rockets higher and starts to pull away too far, too fast, I would say no. It's still just a consistent uptrend. Finally, you think so? So Zillow, and this happens, you've got a long 6-month decline there, just like GE, just like ZAG, that was one I looked at the other day. Those don't just flip and change course right away. It's never just down, 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 month after month, and then, hey, we're going up again. It's always down, 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 down. We think, no, we're going to maybe we'll just, and then finally you start to turn that corner. Think of it as a big ship. You got to turn a big ship slowly. It doesn't just flip around and go. Yep. Never been on a plane. What are you waiting for? Hey, anyways, like I said, if you want to see sort of how things are progressing here behind the scenes, that's the video I posted earlier. Tried to do like a traditional vlog style. I'm not very good at those. Otherwise, check out the dojo. Log into the dojo if you're one of our customers. Check it out. Would love the feedback. Granted, we built the whole thing now, so it's not like we're like really good at this stuff. We just built what we wanted to have in there, but let me know what you think. I'm going to let the rest of you guys go. I appreciate you watching. If it helped you in some way, maybe you'll hit the subscribe button. And yeah, we will be back tomorrow, of course, to do the same thing all over again. That's all I have. See you then.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.